Hi, I'm Dr. BJ Hardick. I'm here with my friend and my colleague Matt. We're talking about heartburn. You know, it's so interesting because a lot of people think that heartburn is a condition of your heart. It's not a condition of the heart at all. It is a sign of some bad digestive processes. And we're spending a lot of time talking about digestion, healthy foods for digestion, healthy lifestyle practices for digestion in Maximize Living this season. So I want to get to a real life example because Matt, you had dealt with heartburn over 10 years ago, even as a young kid. What were some of the initial signs that you were dealing with heartburn? How did it develop and what did you do before you discovered Maximize Living?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it started when I was about 18, and I really started having some flare-ups and some heartburn, some indigestion. So I went to my doctor and was prescribed PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, that are really kind of the standard pill that anybody gets when they get heartburn right now. And then the sad thing was I was on those for over 10 years after that before I finally discovered Maximize Living and the advanced plan for diet.
Did you deal with any side effects as a result of being on medication for 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, I was never really able to control weight, and I definitely gained some weight that it just kind of snuck up on me. I thought it was just because I was getting older. But it started as a low dosage and then it kept moving up and up and up and up. So I had actually gone through just about every process you could to figure out what was going on with my stomach. I'd had scopes, I'd had advanced testing and whatnot. And the end result was just stay on the pills.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting too because it's always assumed that that your body's just producing this extra acid for no good reason.
Yeah.
You know, our approach has always been to say, you know, why is the body not working properly in the first place?
Exactly.
You know, why are there these acidic flare-ups? You know, so I guess how did things come about that you started looking at the 5 essentials of Maximize Living? How quickly did things change?
Yep. Yeah, it really started actually after I'd had my first son, and I'd gone through all of the traditional things you would with your doctor, the scopes and the different plans. And then when the result was stay on the pills, I started looking into the more natural solutions. And that's when I went to a naturopath. And then I found you and started learning about the 5 essentials and learning about subluxation, learning about how the spine plays a critical role in everything functioning. And so literally the first adjustment, I came back to you at the second adjustment and I said, is it right for my stomach to be feeling weird after I got adjusted?
Yeah.
And it was shortly after that I weaned off 2 pills a day and went down to 1 pill a day. And then it was probably about 4 months after we started that I went to no pills.
Yeah. Were you working alongside your conventional medical doctor while you were weaning off the pills?
No. I did go back and talk to them after.
I always find it interesting because clinically, I've never told somebody to not take a medication.
Yeah.
You know, but people do get to a point where they can either work on their own to monitor their own status of how they're doing, how they're feeling, or they can work with their doctor, come off it quite well. You know, our job is always to say, how can we promote better function in your body? Not provide an alternative to the medication, but just get your body working right in the first place.
Yeah.
Hopefully that you're well enough that then you don't have to be on things from the outside in, and then deal with those side effects that you're dealing with as well. So, so you notice some immediate change right away. Again, a lot of people forget that, you know, the brain runs the body through the spinal cord, the nerves come out of the spine, they control all organs, including the organs of digestion.
Yes.
And that's why, you know, historically, growing up in chiropractic, we always saw that, you know, when people would start getting adjustments, sometimes it wasn't their back pain or their neck pain or something physical that went away first. They'd come back saying, they digest their foods better, or they sleep better, or their energy is better. This could actually change first sometimes. You were more on the lookout for it because you had those troubles.
Yeah.
But then also, like, how did the rest of your journey go as well? Because nowadays, we obviously, through the 5 essentials, want to look at what else you're doing from a perspective of nutrition, detoxification, supplementation. So how quickly did you get into that? And then how did that help get you further?
Yeah, so almost right away, I got really excited about everything that we were doing. I went on to the advanced plan and I'd already gone kind of gluten-free and then realized everything else that plays into that. And for no reason other than I figured everything bad comes between 2 pieces of bread, so I should probably stop eating bread.
Yeah.
So that whole diet and regime change really helped everything. And I ended up about 6 or 8 months into it, looking at the scale and realized I'd lost about 45 pounds.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited about that. Didn't mean to, but I had to go buy new shirts and all that stuff because nothing fit. So the overall journey after that was just kind of like one success after another, and it just kept adding and adding and adding on. So now that I feel better, I'm off these pills, I have more energy, I eat better, and just end up having a better outlook on what I'm eating and what's right to eat. And I've shared that with obviously my family and friends and just about anybody I run into.
Yeah. Amazing story. You know, I think the take home here is that there really is a kind of a conventional way that people do things. You know, there's an accepted way. It's very accepted in North America that if you have a problem, that you just have to live with it maybe for the rest of your life. I'm glad you chose not to. And I'm glad you chose to look at some other alternatives and some other options. And again, it's all about promoting regular function, natural function, the way your body's supposed to work in the first place. And that ultimately is the heart of the 5 essentials, is getting your body back to working the way it was supposed to in the first place, and then letting you then discover your best health that you possibly can as a result. So thank you for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you know of other cases like this, if you know of other people that are dealing with issues with not just related to heartburn, but other digestive problems, whether it's constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel, Crohn's disease, all these things, you have to still always look back to that connection with the nervous system, look to the person's nutrition. If there's a way we can help through Maximize Living, let's do our best for those people too.